Was on Amazon the other day, and I thought I'd replace this. Now, this one's defective. I don't know if you saw any of my other videos, but this one has a problem. It's been damaged sometime during manufacturing or shipping. Probably not shipping. This is well protected anyway. So this guy here, see that there? It's kind of tilted that away. So to make this work, you're gonna have to level it up about that much and slide it over. And I thought about it, but then you have to move some of these pre-drilled holes here over that way. So the other option, I guess, was to put one of the big vices on the press machines and try and press this straight. The only problem is you'd have to press in here only. Well, I can't see that. In here, you have to make a jig to put on the press to press here. So I don't know if it's worth it. Just probably not worth the time. I mean, just the time of moving all the machines to get to the press would be not worth it. So found this guy here on Amazon for like $13 or $14, and a day later it was here. Get it out of the bag here. Oh, okay. There's some parts in the bag. Okay, but I guess you don't need it. I'll probably use the old screws. And here it is, and it looks different. I wonder if it's gonna line up. Ooh. Okay, I bought the wrong one. Now there are two choices if you go on Amazon to buy this. I guess the bobbin winder, and it's a small and large, or medium and large, or big or small. But there's two choices, and it's the wheel size that they measure. And one is 2.5 inches, and the other one is 3 inches. Now, if I measure this guy here, the wheel is about 2 3/4 inches. It's probably in metric, so that doesn't matter. It's about 67 mm. So the two choices are 2.5 or 3 inches, and my wheel is 2 3/4 inches, so I went with the 3-inch. Now with the 3-inch, I have a slight problem here. Yeah, it's not going to work out. So it's going to be touching the wheel. Let's see if I can make this work though, without re-drilling some holes. Let's take this out. Ooh. We'll just try and slide this rubber piece back a bit. I think I gotta move the camera. I can't get to it. Remove this completely here, this part. That's this right here. Okay, so the first thing I did was, there it is. Spin this around. Move this stopper further back to see if I can get a little more play in the wheel there. Let's lift this up here. Oh, let's go this way. The other option is to drill this hole, further back that way, allowing this to slide further back that way. But I don't know if that's necessary. If this works out, let me move the camera and show you what I got here. I'm still not liking it at all, though. Let me pause the camera and I'll move it a bit here. Okay, got the camera repositioned here. And you can see here, let me see, that we're at the maximum position that this whole apparatus can slide that way. And I got enough clearance. I'm okay with that, because it would work, no problem. And, oh, this feels much better. This one here, when you push it down here, it won't, I can push really hard on this, and it won't come back. So if you're not watching it, the bob will just wind up. But that could have been easily alleviated by bending. I could have adjusted it by bending this down, pushing it up so the force is this way, when it's down. I think. Well, could be wrong. Wow. A lot of force. Well, anyway, the bobbins wouldn't stop itself. You'd have to kind of watch it. This one, wow, much better. So, but now I'm still having the same problem. You see this here? See the belt? It only goes up halfway here. It was the same with this one. You can see the belt came up 3/4 ways right to there. But you see all these patches on here? That's the rubber from here. That's because when it's on there, because it's crooked, it's like this. So belt sliding down, scudding back up, sliding down, scudding back up. And it's been taking off a lot of the rubber. So, it's probably why I decided to change it. Otherwise, I would have left it. At least this one is level. It's parallel with the belt. So it wouldn't be riding down, coming back up, riding back down, coming back up. But it's only halfway, on here. It would be nice if it was flush with that. Or is it that my belt is not? Maybe the belt should be adjusted. Now let's take a look, see what happens anyway. Yeah, the belt wants to go that way. You know what? I'm thinking, let me adjust the belt first before I worry about this. Let me pause the video. I'm going to go on the bottom and I'm going to adjust the motor just slightly. It seemed to have moved a bit since I set it up. I had it riding right over there. Now it's kind of riding that away. Let me go adjust the belt and I'll be right back. Okay, let me turn it on. We got it adjusted now. I was going to take the camera down there and I'll show you what I did, but moving the camera and the lighting, a bit too much trouble. But I took 14 mm and a pen, and all I did was draw a line on one side of the motor, the base, and then loosen the nuts, and then tap the motor over that way. Maybe about 4 millimeters or so, you know. And let's see. And you know, it's right in the middle now. So it's right in the middle here. And if we get closer, well, the camera's not exactly in the same plane. There we go. You can see now the belt is almost. Let's see if we can get a straight in here and see. You see that? Oh, let me get you closer here. Oh no, closer. Ooh, oh boy. There we go. Okay. Oh, let's see. Rub this on the side here. It is right at the edge. Let me back it up here. You can see if I run this right on the edge here. Just catches it. Yeah. So it's just barely on. And let's take a look, see. There you go, there's a good picture. You can kind of see it. There you go. I guess ideally it would be better if it was in the middle. However, it's still, you know, way better than the other one, that's for sure. Take it in the hole. Here. And then into here. Oh. Seems much more difficult when working with a camera in front of you. Okay, that's too loose on there. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to spread this open a little bit. What have I got to spread it open with here? Oh, that's right. Your machine come with some tools. So in there. Can make that a little wider. Oh, I made it too wide. All right, kind of overkill, but I keep this by the sewing machine to open some of those bottles. So squeeze it back. Whoops, too much. Yep. All right. Just go slow. You don't want to be bending this out in too many times. It will break. So, you know, I kind of overdid it the first time. Then I over squeezed it the second time. If you open it and close it too many times, it's gonna break. So this guy here. Oh, it's a lot of tension. Ooh, it's a lot. I guess I'm gonna have to break it in a bit. So let's see. Boom. What can I wind it around here? Oh, I guess I'll just hold it. Okay. Wow, that wine's clean. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can get closer here. Get this over that. Oh, that way in here. Okay. Oh, obviously we need to adjust this. This here has to go down. Wow, this one's way more sensitive than the other one. Okay, that's a little bit too much. But this one actually works great. Right, let me try one more here to make sure it's okay. Come on, go now. Don't need these. Oops. You see that? It winds real nice. Yeah. Nice and even, left to right. The one that came with the machine, because it was slanted, it'll fill up on one side and then kind of fill the other. It fill up on one side and kind of fill the other. This one's real even. It goes back and forth nicely. Okay, that works pretty good. Actually, this engages. Unlike this one here, you know. Oop, let me go back up here. It takes quite a bit of force. I don't know if you can see that, but a lot of force. This one, no, not much at all. Okay, I think I'm happy with this. And let me come back up here. I don't know if I'm happy with the belt. I moved it over. I moved the motor that way about 4 millimeters. You can see it. Let me zoom it in here. Look, too much. You can see it. You see it moving like that. It's going like that, like that. That means it's riding that way, bumping on, and coming back. Riding that way, bumping on, coming back. Ah, you can see the marks that the old bobbin winder left. It just wore down this side here. Only that side. So I moved it 4 mm that way. I think I'm gonna move the motor over that way. Maybe 1.5 mm. Obviously I'm gonna do that off camera, but the video here was for changing this. And this works perfectly fine. It was somewhere between $13 and $14, and it got here in a day or so. And if you're online and looking for one of these guys here, the two choices, like I said in the beginning, were wheel size. I think the large wheel size was 2.5 inches, and the extra large size was 3 inches, or the small was 2.5, and the largest 3 inches. Anyway, the one that came with the fabricator, this guy right here, that guy is 2 3/4 inches. So you're gonna have to choose small and large. I managed to make the large one fit. Let's take a look there. However, when not engaged, you can see it's barely. I'm gonna have to start, adjust it a little bit more because I want some space. So this is not always touching this. There you go. We'll just move that back there, and then tighten it down. So now I got about 1/4 inch space there, and everything's perfect. Not exactly perfect. All right, here, let me show you what I'm doing. Let me get in there and get some light in there. Zoom it in a bit. Okay. To make more space between the wheel and the belt here, I have to move this stopper back that way. However, there's only so far back you can move it before the wheel engages the metal. You hear that? It's hitting the metal. So when adjusting this, you want to make sure there's enough rubber in front of the metal for the wheel to engage. About that much should do. Let me tighten it back down. And there we go. Now we're only hitting the rubber. And I have a little more than an 8 gap. Oh, let me get back up here. And I have a little bit more than, an 1/8 gap between here and the belt. Let's see. Just about that much gap. And that is a little bit more than an 1/8. So, I don't know, about 5 mil difference here. Would be nice to have a little bit more, but because I went with a large wheel, that's about the maximum I got there. So boom. That looks perfect. So because you can adjust this, even if you went with the 2.5, it probably would work, but and that would make this spin faster or wind up faster. But the one I chose was the 3-inch, and it works perfectly fine. Now let me get back here. I don't think the one that came with the machine is trash or anything. It just seems to be defective. I mean, let me get you down on that same plane there. Can you see it there? Can you see that thing? I'm gonna get something in there. You see that tilting? It's high on this side and low on that side. Something seems to be wrong with this one. There, now you can see it. If I put it side by side with that one, yeah, you can see this side bending down. So something's wrong with this one, and I would have been fine with this one, but this guy is way better. Oh, hope that helps. If you're going to purchase one, the large one does fit. And again, I think the smaller one, the 2.5 wheel, will probably fit with some adjustments. But the 3-inch guarantees to fit, again, with some adjustments.